Hi, hello, hello, hi, and welcome to all our hearts and minds. Thank you again for tuning in. We are here to discuss all things that have been on our hearts and minds, the good and the bad, the concerning and uplifting, or just straight talk. We're your hosts, Kimmy, our passionate heart,
Yeah.
and me, Jeanette, our mind and chronic overthinker. Let's get into it.
Yes. So much to
So,
get into. That's
so
the thing.
much. A little too much, if
Mm-hmm.
you ask me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, so let's just jump right into it and get to business. Let's get into our checkup. First and foremost, most important, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I mean, it's getting closer and closer to Christmas. It's literally 1 month away as of today.
Girl, please stop the countdown. Don't do it.
No,
Don't
because
do
it's
it.
serious. Like I need to get my life together. Like I don't even have up my tree, nothing, bro. Like I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. But no, other than that, I mean, life is okay. Alive and well. The
Okay.
family is doing okay. Work is dead.
There, work is
Um,
work.
right, and so I can't complain. I can't. I'm not going to complain because I have
Mm.
things to complain about. But trust me, I'm choosing. It's a choice, people,
Yeah,
not to complain. So, how are you doing? How's everything with you?
good. I love that. That's a good takeaway. That's a good little tidbit. A
Hmm.
nice little Instagram meme inspiration quote. You can choose not to complain. Or what did you say? Complaining is optional? I already forgot. It sounded pretty good.
That's how. That's how. Okay, girl. No, I'm choosing not to complain
I'm
because it is a
choosing.
choice.
Okay, I'm choosing.
It
Yes.
is a choice, right? So I'm choosing not to complain.
Okay, there you go. I choose not to complain. I love it. All right.
Yes,
So yeah, as for me, I'm in pretty good spirits. Nothing to complain about. Family's good. Work is
you
work.
know,
Grateful for
right?
it regardless. And
Yeah,
just looking ahead.
yeah. We
And
could
so,
be in worse positions. Trust me.
oh
We're going
yeah,
to talk about it.
the way that, and just the way the world is right now.
You see
Whoo,
what I'm saying? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
you gotta think
Mm-hmm.
about those things. So
Gotta
we're
think
gonna.
about it, and then and once you've thought about it, then you'll choose not to complain. Trust me,
Mm,
you'll choose not to complain. Just look
mhm.
at what's going on in the world today. Put you in perspective real quick. So everybody's all good. Everybody's okay.
Our first story, which I'm gonna move around, we have our show rundown that I shared with you, but I want to talk about the Toronto rental situation first, if that's okay.
Yes, everybody at Chatboat. Everybody at
Let's
Chatboat
start this. Yeah,
Toronto.
this news got
Mm-hmm.
international coverage as well. I saw coverage of it in the India Times as well. So
Yeah.
that's to tell you how crazy this,
Right.
how fast the
Okay.
story has been picked up. But anyway, we have listeners. We're based in Toronto. I think by now, if you listening to us for a while, we know what that is. But we have a viral, and we've had episodes on episodes talking about the housing situation here in Toronto
Yep.
from different perspectives. Me as a owner, Kim as somebody
As
who
a
wants to,
renter,
and who's
unfortunately,
someone and
want to
somebody
be
who wants to own,
homeowner
somebody who's
one
aspiring
day. Keep
to
my
be a
fingers
homeowner.
crossed. Got to move the hell up out of Ontario. Anyways, no,
Yeah,
just
ooh,
I'm
that's it's kind
just
of yeah. So we
as I digress.
look up those episodes. We've talked about this at length. It's a known issue. I think if you live in a big city, um, it could be. Well, I just think Toronto's grown so much. We have a problem that maybe the infrastructure wasn't ready for it. But anyway, we digress. That's a bigger issues that we can't.
Yeah.
That's a fish we can't fry right now. But we're taking some levity to this situation because there's a viral post on TikTok or on social media. I think it was on Facebook Marketplace or something, where
It's all over
somebody,
the place. TGIF even had to talk about it. Like,
it's some person, I don't even that posted a rental listing to rent half her bed in a master bedroom for $900 Canadian.
wow.
And here is the listing that the person put. I see some a little bit of it here. Said the move-in date is flexible. They want a preferably 1 year agreement so she can put them also on the lease. The rental deposit is typical first and last plus $100 for the Damn, you're even asking for a security deposit,
So, but
girl.
hold on. You want $100 security deposit, $900 for first a month's rent, $900 for last month's rent. You're going on 2 grand here,
But
girl.
catch the nerve now. Catch the nerve, Kimmy. They all want documents. They want the standard pay slips, proof of ID, employment,
Listen,
visa, background. Wait a minute. If
that is that's
you're you
ridiculous.
have the nerve to ask for documents when you're renting half a bed?
Have a bed?
If anybody who has documents, I'm hoping somebody who has proof of employment doesn't need to rent half a bed. Like the person.
Not even half a room, half a bed. Okay,
Yeah, I was trying to look if this was a hoax. I was trying to before trying to find out if this is some type of uh, joke.
nah,
But
fam.
anyway, in the listing it goes, looking for an easygoing female to share the master bedroom and the one queen size bed. Lord God, NASA. Anyway.
Yes, should I even have king size about
Okay,
me?
she
And
said, I have been previously sharing the bedroom with which only has one queen size with a roommate I found on Facebook, and it worked out perfectly well. Was that your like? That's like what? That's funny business. That's a little bit funny business to
that's
me. I
your
don't know about
girlfriend. Okay, that's your girlfriend. Stop the
unless
line.
that's your family. Like what? And then they
And
show the
before you get too single bed and just stop the
right.
nonsense.
Like be reasonable. Be
No,
reasonable.
that's your spouse. Okay, that was your spouse.
At that point, yeah. If I'm sleeping beside you on a bed and you're not my family, we're in a relationship.
We're in a full blown relationship. Okay,
So I I haven't been able to find proof that this was a hoax, but I think it was for real, and I think that's where the
it's
news
for
tried.
real. Did I? It's for real. This is
I was
for
like,
real,
what? I
bro.
think all the news outlets are trying to all the news outlets are trying to find people to find this person because there was a Toronto realtor who brought its attention on TikTok. So if it goes on TikTok, it can fly. So yeah, that's where we're at in the Toronto rental scene. People
Oh.
are renting the other half of their bed. To me, anytime I see like, listen, okay, as somebody who has had roommates and who has rented
Hmm.
their space for a roommate. Like I rent a whole other room. I just let me put that out there. I rent a whole other room
Right?
with a whole
Put
other bed,
this
and
shit out there, yo.
I ain't sharing my bed with nobody. Things aren't that
Nah,
bad.
fam.
Um.
This is crazy.
So sorry. What I was trying to say is like you can get a lot of. It's like a strange scene. Like even depending where you put your listing, you can get some weird situations. So I could tell you a couple of situations where one when I was renting the room the first round, like when I was even more a little bit more. I would say I don't. I guess to use the word desperate. Time was not on my side because I just got the place, and at the time I didn't have the income to really have a large enough income to really have the place without renting the second room, right? And so I was like eagerly, aggressively trying to find someone to put in the room. And first, I put it on Kijiji. We know Kijiji. That's like the listing. That's the updated Craigslist. And people, if you
Right?
think remember Craigslist, there's you get too much. You put yourself out there for a lot of randoms when you're on this Kijiji and the Craigslist of the world, right? Because
Right?
it's an open classified. And I also posted on Facebook, and then also I found this app that was called Roomster at the time. They have a bunch of them now, but an app that was specifically designed to find roommates. And what I prefer obviously Facebook and Roomster is because you have a profile, like you can see a little bit. Yeah, they can still make a fake profile, but you can still get an idea of the person, right? With when
Yeah,
you go through
exactly.
those channels versus a random person texting you. So what I'm trying to get to is when I had the listing on Kijiji and why I had to take it down, and I don't advise anybody to list on Kijiji if you're sharing your space with the actual person is I got girls saying, "Oh, I live." I got one who was like, "Oh, I live in the building. I have a roommate with somebody else. I really want to stay in the building. but I'm a lesbian. Is that something? Da,
No.
da, da, da. And I was like, why would you out the gate say that? Like, I don't care.
That's
Why
that's
would I,
that's the thing. It's like you're putting too
like
much business out
you're
there.
putting too much, like that's like already you're too much already, so done. Then there was a next one from Kijiji where there's two girls, I guess. They're like, oh, we're friends, and we want to share da 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 da. And I'm like, but they want to say pay the same rent. You want two people, you want to pay the same rent, and you're two people using
No,
to double the resources. So
no.
and you got a lot of people trying to wiggle their way and give and just create
Finesse. Mm-hmm.
finesse, and I was like, no. But anyway, so you have the finessers that are trying to rent on these listings, and then you get the other reverse, and where you have a lister
Who's
where it's
just
like
batshit crazy? Because who
it's
the
like
hell
what?
rental of your bed, fam? Really? Nah. It's better
Nonsense.
if you have, because what they're asking for is almost $2,000. It's better if you get a group of your friends and you all get in on a house together. Because at
Yeah,
least you'll
at this
have your
point,
own room, you'll
yeah,
have a common area, you'll have a kitchen. What are you supposed to do? Have your hot pot, your hot pot by the side of the bed, because all you're renting is the bed. This is just, it just really shows a testament to what me and Jeanette have been talking about for donkey years now, that
mm,
we are having a crisis here in Toronto, and it's really difficult to find somewhere to live, and it's even more difficult to be able to stay, because as a renter, we're gonna move on from this, but
yeah,
generally speaking, as a renter, one rule of thumb that I have, unfortunately, sorry, Jeanette, this is going to go against what you're saying, but don't
yeah,
rent from an actual homeowner. Don't rent from a homeowner. I'm sorry, that's just how I see it as a renter until I have my own property. I would rather rent from a corporation, right? Because
yes,
a corporation is not in the business of selling the property up underneath you, right? And
mm,
then a year you have to, they honor the contract, but then after that you're back at square one. For me, I would rather want to find a corporation that is renting, because that's their business, is to rent, not to buy and sell. So for quick short term rentals, I think that you have a great a beautiful place that anybody would be lucky to have. um but it is definitely an issue up here. It's a big issue up here. And furthermore, what the hell is the government doing about it? That's what I want to know. Because
yeah,
I've always said, I think I've been saying this for the last 10 years, something's got to give. Something has got to give, because we have people, immigrants, coming to this country in the droves. So I don't
yep,
even know how we're supposed to support all of that. We're already on crunch time. We're already, our rents are sky high, properties to buy are sky high, interest rates are slowly climbing. Like, I don't, something's got to give. So I ain't renting nobody's bed though. That's all I got to tell you.
yeah. No,
But moving on. Yeah.
yeah, I
Mm.
agree. Like it's a sticky situation. We've seen there. We can't get into that. This is not a hard news show, but I mean, politically and government, like we have our governments. That is like the number one thing that people are care about right now, particularly in our province. So yeah, we'll see what that amounts to. Like, there's a lot of initiatives happening, but we'll see what that amounts to.
Yeah, it
Um,
just doesn't make any damn sense. How are you letting in 100,000 people into the country and you don't got nowhere to put them
mm.
in the -30? But anyways, keep it pushing, yeah. Keep it pushing.
Okay, so we'll get to our next hot topic. So one of the internet's favorite couples, we talked about this when we were talking about all the people getting split up a month or two ago.
It's like
Um,
everybody and their mother is falling apart.
when Tiana Taylor,
Mm.
there's something in the air, but
Mm-hmm.
when Tiana Taylor and Iman Shupert came out and pretty much announced their separation. Well, Tiana did because Iman was getting
Mm-hmm.
it in, and people were wondering what was happening.
Right?
But Tiana let the world know, I think in September, that they had decided to separate.
Mm-hmm.
However, It was recently, and she's like, not on my best friend. Let's remember, she said, not on my best friend. She's good.
Right?
Women are saints, boy. Let me tell you, women are
Telling you.
saints.
Mm-hmm.
So it turns out that she actually um applied. She secretly moved to start the divorce proceedings in January of this year. So
Wow.
she went like she said separation in the fact that they're physically separated, but they were in the proceedings of a divorce.
Right?
So which is obviously meaning things are definitely 110% finito. And
Definito.
so
Mm-hmm.
and so yeah, so TMZ obtained the legal documents. I don't know how, but I think from what I
They
heard
have
is I think
somebody in the court. I'm telling you, they
yeah,
have to
they
have
yeah
somebody
they
in the
they
court.
do, because what is funny is they were probably looking for those documents around the time, so in the fall. So
Mm-hmm.
if she let it be known they're separated in September, they'd be looking like maybe July, between July and September they're
Mm-hmm.
looking for those documents, right? But the thing is, she put in the documents with their initials, so in January, so they probably weren't even thinking to go that far back to look for them.
Right?
And on top of that, they didn't have their full legal names in the document. But now, the people with sense, they probably scoured from when she announced it,
Right?
and they've been probably scouring to see what they can
Ever
find for
since.
months ever
Yep.
since. So they finally found it, and they were released, unfortunately. And that's just how it is. And since then, what was really sad to hear is because, again, they were a couple goals. They were like,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
were a couple that were free and open, and they looked happy, and they designed their relationship to fit them and their lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed
Mm-hmm.
pretty cool. Like,
Yeah.
he seemed like a really good supporting husband. Um Supporting her career and everything, and
Mm-hmm.
vice versa. And as a young couple with a family, it was a beautiful, a young black couple at that, let me say.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was beautiful to see that they took that commitment as young people and were, it appeared to us thriving. But of course, we know a public appearance doesn't mean nothing.
Diddly
So
squat. Yeah.
diddly squat. She said in the papers, it says that Iman signed a $40 million contract with the NBA's Cleveland Cavaliers. The same year, he was also paid 8 million by the New York Knicks. And because obviously, I guess a transition to move on or whatever.
Yeah.
And so why I believe she called it out is he was doing very, very well for himself. And you know what?
Yeah.
She said he was jealous and aggravated by her fame, jealous of her acting career, and insecure about being her man. There's a one thing that keeps going viral on that people are talking about is that when they would go on red carpets, he would get annoyed when the photographers would want him out of the pictures to get pictures of just her alone. And
Oh
that
my
is just
gosh.
so disgusting. That is so not what I thought of him. Like, he's doing so well. He has fame and notoriety in his sphere, which is sports.
Right.
And her fame and notoriety comes from her being an actress, a singer, a great performer, really a public personality. So when you're
Right.
going on entertainment red carpets, yeah, that's who they want a picture of. And
But
you, as a
this is
man,
what I
should have.
don't understand,
Mhm.
Iman. Listen, Tiana has been in the spotlight since she was 16 or a little bit younger.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay? So I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get it. You knew who she was before you married her. You know what I mean? And now all of a sudden she's supposed to give up all of that because she married you? Or because your ego is bruised
Oh, it
because
hurts.
people appreciate her for her talents.
Yeah, it
Like,
hurt
I
to
don't
find out.
understand this.
It hurt to find out that somebody who has all the reason to be in all facts of life is successful, and people would kill to have his life, is still insecure. Like, it hurts to know that that is the kind of person that he was. It says that he was. He would continue to send her negative text messages, condescending and manipulative language about her being in the spotlight. Also, pick fights with her,
Oh
and
God.
it goes on and on. But it comes down to, I hate to say it, he was jealous. I mean, we see that in everyday life. You
Yeah,
see,
DDG right now. DDG right now. He's jealous of
yeah.
his woman.
Whoa,
He's
that's a
steady trying to sabotage her. He's steady
mm.
trying to sabotage her. And love is blind because I don't know how the hell she doesn't see that he's trying his best to sabotage her. Like I
But
don't know
here,
how she
but
doesn't
here,
see.
well, he really will. He put a bun in the oven. So if people
Well,
don't know, we're talking about Halle Bailey's boyfriend. But
DDG. That is the
we have to
stupidest
remember,
acronym I've ever heard in my life.
not
Like
everybody
why?
knows,
I hate that name. Sorry.
not everybody knows DDG. So I have to be like Halle's man. So
See, that's the saddest
um,
part is that we don't even know who the hell he is. And he's that jealous. Really? Like, you're her sidekick. You're her man. Like you said, we know him to be her man. But he's a jealous little prick. And you could tell. It's so sad to hear that Iman was so,
toxic,
right?
and he had every reason not to. Like he should. I don't know. Well, there's this saying that's saying that, like, I hate to say this, but like black men, they need to get on the therapy train as well. Everybody's on the therapy train. We know Charlemagne the God has been touting that, but I feel like there's still some men who need to. Is a man who is like secure and done the work on himself could never be jealous of his wife
But you know what
of
I've
his wife.
heard as of late? That
Mhm.
men really don't care about your accolades as a woman. Like, they don't
No,
care about all that
they
stuff.
don't.
They want to know that you could be a good mother, a good nurturer, a good wife, a good housekeeper, I guess. These are the things that they focus on. So it doesn't matter if you have all these accolades behind your name. They really couldn't give a shit. And when you do, a lot of them want you to all of a sudden change who you are to appease them.
Yeah, and
Point in case,
that's not
Iman.
realistic. That's just not realistic.
You know who you met, you know who you
Mhm.
fell. This is what I could never really understand about men, right? And I understand their visual care, like visual people, like they need to see visually that they're needed, that they're loved, that they're wanted, that you're attractive, that you're, I guess, I don't know, like you're their end all be all. I don't know, but I'm not down for that ride. Let me tell you, Tiana, keep it pushing, girl. Keep it
Yeah.
pushing, because one thing you have to be very weary of is a jealous man.
Ooh,
What
that's a dangerous thing.
the hell?
Ooh, that's a dangerous thing.
What are we talking about here?
A
Like,
man that's jealous
really?
of a woman,
Of a woman? Like,
of a
really?
woman is dangerous, and more or less his own woman.
Really?
Hmm.
So while you're sexing her at night, you're also staring at her in the morning like, I can't stand that bitch. Like, how could she have better than me? Oh, she ran down that red carpet looking so good. Who the hell is this girl? Like, that's the type of vibe you have? Really? Like,
Hmm.
do you not see that you're winning? When
Yeah, in
she's
every
winning, you're
way.
winning. Like,
Exactly.
I don't understand it. It's beyond me, people. But you know what? He's very insecure, and there's a lot of men that are like him out there.
Oh
There's a
yeah,
lot of them. There's a lot of them.
the
And
scary part is when you see somebody who doesn't realize who or it takes too long for them to see that their man is jealous of them.
right? And this
Like
is
the
what I'm saying about
behavior is
Hallie.
coming. Mm.
This is Hallie right here. Exactly what you just said. This is Hallie. She's living it out. And I don't know if she chooses to turn a blind eye, and she knows it. In her heart, she knows it. But he's jealous of you, darling. And before you know it, he's going to try to sabotage you. He is. He will. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, but Iman, get over yourself. Like, get over
Yeah.
yourself.
Who? So
Tiana, keep it pushing, girl. You is a queen. You've shown us time and time again that you have mastered your craft of entertaining,
hmm.
and don't let him stop you. That's
All
why
right.
that's why you're not together anymore. Best friend or
Yeah,
no
she's
best
taking
friend,
the right direction. She
right?
saw it for what it was, and she tried her best. And then last thing before we move on is, okay, now it's released and all the attention is coming up and everybody's talking about it because she went out of her way to say that cheating wasn't a factor in the relationship. There was also a long time ago, I don't know if you brought it up on this show before, where it was rumored that she like literally nearly had a nervous breakdown because
Yeah,
he was cheating on her, and her hair fell out and she had to go to the hospital because
yeah,
of the situation. So
yeah,
at the time nobody said it was her. Everybody, well, it was more like people were like it's her, but she came back and like, well, all you can do is deny, right? And there was no hardcore proof it was her, but everybody pretty much was like, oh, it's Tiana Taylor. And so, anyway, she has, since the divorce paper has gone public, I think
hmm,
she's come out, and you have to come out. I mean, I don't know how much, I don't know, but she said, I mind my business and I don't bother anybody. Y'all know I never played about my children, my family, or our privacy. I have not spoken on this private matter to any media outlets or blogs. So everyone claiming Tiana said didn't get any statements directly from me. These
hmm.
statements were taken from a private court documents that were leaked to the public. It is very heartbreaking that someone would take out the time to make such a private matter public for the world to see. However, protecting my family is one thing I've always done, and for my children, I will continue to do so. Please, if y'all love y'all play nieces, Junie and Rue, like you have shown, please allow myself and my family some privacy to resolve this in peace. Love y'all. I mean, I get it. Like, you have to ask that, but it's not realistic because
Yeah, but
now.
Tiana, I'm sorry, girlfriend. You were wrong. You were
Mhm.
wrong that once every document, every legal document, okay, unless you ask for an order from the actual court to make this a private document, it's public knowledge.
Well, she does say it was private court documents.
Well, yeah, but could be her idea in her
Mm.
mind that this is a private matter, so therefore these documents are private. But
Hmm.
unless you actually get an order from the court asking that they be sealed and that never to be leaked, then they are private. But
Yeah,
other than that, they're public. Either which way, this was bound to come out.
it
You
was gonna
can't.
come out.
The documents don't really make a difference. They just add validity to what's already happening. So,
And here's my thing. Most celebrities, when they divorce, they say an amicable, what do they say? Irreconcilable, what is it?
what, um,
They say amicable,
irre-
either.
Oh man,
Irreconcilable. Why we are both
why are
struggling?
we messing up on the
Am
words?
I gonna have to edit this out? Like, yeah,
We're
we
gonna have to
know.
edit this shit right out. Just take this joke
I
out.
don't know.
Like,
I might leave it
oh shit. Just edit it.
in. Irreconcilable
There we
differences. I
go.
got
That's close enough. Shit.
it.
Oh Jesus.
So all that those two generic reasons that celebrities usually put because they don't want to air their dirty laundry. So I wonder if she went into detail to kind of protect her. Like, it would go more into the custody situation to make sure that, like, there's
Hmm.
no if ands, if or but, that she doesn't make paint him to look like an evil person, but he was obviously emotionally abusive. That's at the very least. I doubt. I don't know what else was going on. Obviously, she didn't say, but based on this, if there's any reason to put that much detail of what was happening in the court divorce papers versus putting that generic thing that most celebrities do, maybe it's to make sure that, like, it's like, there was some negativity coming from him, and to make sure the divorce goes in her favor in every way, shape, or form.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm glad they're apart because you like I say that because not that I like to see black love fail. I
No.
don't. However, that's not love because he should want to see you thrive because he'll understand that if you're winning, he's winning, right? So, that type of damage, it's almost like I feel as though like verbal abuse or mental abuse is worse than physical abuse at times.
Mhm.
because we already tell ourselves things in our head as women. We already tell ourselves that we're not good enough, that, oh, there's this problem with us, or there's that. We're always trying to please, right? We always want the approval of, whether we want to agree on that or not. The point is that to have somebody constantly nick away at your confidence, at your self-worth, at your value, I feel is more detrimental than you boxing me down. Now, the bruises will heal,
Mm.
right? The bruises will heal, but it's now you've added to that broken record that's already in my head. Do you know what I mean? Because we
Yeah.
all have insecurities, period. But as a woman, I find that, with the beauty industry being what it is, we're
Yep.
always being in our mind, we're always playing how we could be better, or we're not good enough for this, or we. So now you've added to that soundtrack that's in my head, right? Now you've put an additional song of how I'm not good enough, or how I'm
Mhm.
not this, or how. So for me personally, I'm glad that she got out of this, and that she was confident enough to believe in herself and to move on from this, because ultimately it could break her down. It could break you
Yep.
down to nothing. To you'll want to do the job for them. You'll want to kill yourself for them. You understand what I'm saying? So I there's times where I do feel like, that emotional abuse is way more damaging at times than a box down, to be honest, because I can heal, and move on. But anyway, Iman, Teyana, stay a kana. You understand? Stay each other kana. I'm glad you moved on from this girl, but
Mm.
it seems like it's the season of breakups.
Ooh. Yeah, so prayers up. She'll be all right. She already made the
You'll be
right
all
step.
right. You'll be all right.
Next we will go to the Angel Reese situation.
Angel,
And if
what
you
you doing,
guys,
girl?
girl, you messing up in school or what?
Messing up the bag. That's what you doing. You messing up the bag, girl. Messing up the
So
bag.
she was in the news because um I think she missed out a couple of games
Mm-hmm.
because of low grades.
Yep, she was benched.
Ooh. And I think I saw somewhere like her GPA fell to like a
2.9.
2.0. Oh shit.
2.9. 2.9. That's like almost like, you just
Like a
showed
C?
up. Like
Yeah,
a
like a
2.9
C.
is like just went to class. You know what I mean? Like I didn't even try.
Mm-mm.
That's how bad a 2.9 is. It's like, oh, I just attended.
Yeah, so
I just
she
attended.
missed a couple of a game or two, and so obviously if we remember, LSU was the championship team that won the college the NC double A
Mhm.
college, the D1 school college games for women, whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm
For
messing up, but
women.
y'all know.
Yeah, you remember the game. Hush up.
LSU, yeah, it was everywhere. It was the highest rated game of
Like, how could
basketball
you
like
forget?
earlier this year. And the team got a lot of press and media, particularly the two star players, which was, or the, Angel Reese is the player, and the supporting star player, which was Flage. And so, anyway, the news was asking the coach, who's also who's a famous character from that team. She's a very
She
lively
sure
character.
is.
Yeah, a lot of people love her too. And so they asked the coach, Kim Mulkey, why she, what happened to Reese? Is she coming back? What's going on? She said they asked her if she could discuss why she benched Angel Reese. And she says, I could, but I won't. It was just a it was just a coach's decision. And again, the following game, she was asked again, you want me to explain why? It's very obvious. Angel was not in uniform. Angel is a part of this basketball game, and we hope this basketball team, and we hope to see her sooner rather than later. And
Mhm.
so she kind of cut it from there. Um, uh, like, whatever. And then Angel Reese posted following that saying, "Please don't believe everything you read." And hmm,
No, what
I
you
think
should be doing, Angel, is reading. That's what you should be doing. Okay,
it's
don't tell me what to believe. Thanks, ma'am.
so it
Um,
was rumored that it was because her grades are up to par. We don't have anything public, but it's that's the only reason that she would be benched. Like unless
mhm.
she did some crime or you know what I mean. Like unless she did
No,
some.
if she did a crime, she'd be off the team. But
Yeah, exactly.
it's because her grades were shitty. But I don't like to make this a divisive situation. But let
Yeah.
this have been a male. Let this have been okay,
Mm.
a basketball player that was a man on a divisional team, on a college or university team. They would have had him, they would have had somebody taking his tests, doing his homework, handing in his projects. I'm just I'm just blown away how it's a female that's in a basketball position of a star, and how she's being treated. Yet we know that many a times that male basketball players, her same equal to counterpart, they would have bent over backwards to make sure he was in every single game. I just want to note that because there is a difference with female basketball and male basketball. And we already know what some of those differences are, but we can see if this was Angelo, no, Angelo would have been on the damn team. But it's Angel, okay? And
Mm. Mm.
Angel, they're gonna say, "Oh no, you need to sit your ass down and go read a book. That's what you need to do." Um, but one thing I will say is that I do like that they're willing to bench her for her education. I've always liked that rule that if your grades aren't up, you ain't playing.
But
Because
I agree. Like obviously, we say like at the end of the day, they're young people and they're in college, and that should also be a priority. Like really,
it
you
has
only
to
have
be a priority. You only
mhm,
got so many years in the game. Like you
as a
only
woman.
got so many good years in the game. Even if you are the top of the top, the best of the best, you only got so many years in the game. So you better come out with an education after this. There are many basketball players that they realize, whether they're female or male, they realize that they have an expiration date and that they have to have a plan B after this basketball thing. So it's a good thing in her realm. There's not a lot of black women that even get to go to college or university. So the fact that you're there, okay? Now, yeah, like I said before, there is definitely sexism going on. If this were a man, they'd be treated entirely different with his low grade rule, period. Now whether it's followed is a whole different discussion. However, there is a rule. And somebody's future goes beyond the basketball. It goes beyond the hoop. It goes beyond the net. Like, you understand, the stadium. It goes beyond that, right? Because when you're washed up, you need to have an education. You need to be able to support yourself. So this coach, I want to say about the coach is that she has some cojones. She has some cojones. She's taking their top player out and benching her. That's a
Well, she
lot of
doesn't.
cojones for
I
me.
think also it's not. It is a coach's decision, but there's also some rules too that they probably have. Even if she wanted to put her in, there might be some other like maybe it's a 2.5 and not a 2.9. I don't know, but I'm sure they must have some standard,
But
especially at that.
she's not caving to that.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
of all the players on the team, right? You can pull that with one of the other benchers that are already there. Oh, you just gonna sit out because you. But she's their top player. So, and I say that because there's also bigger heads on top of the boss. I'm sorry, the coach, who is down on her. Like, you better put her back in. She when she plays, that's the highest. I'm sure that the coach's bosses are pressing her, put her back in, put her back in. But the fact that she's willing to do this, even for the betterment of Angel, Angel, go read a book, girl. Bounce a ball and read a book.
Um,
Okay? Please
yeah.
bring it up.
So as
We need three and above. Please, ma'am. Please. Get it together, Angel. Please.
Yeah, so I don't know the standard of what's going on, and again, we don't know the process of when this stuff comes down, or really what is the true thing. It's just a rumor that it's her grades. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes, because there's also, there was a drama between her and her teammates' parents, not the teammates themselves. Their parents got into some type of tiff, because Angel was complaining about somebody's grammatical mistakes when they're messaging her, may be frustrated that people are getting in touch with her while she's benched. And then Flaugier Johnson's mom came back and said, "You definitely know about grammar errors when your daughter got less than a 2.0. She got a 2.0 or less GPA." So, and she's saying that. So that's what we're saying. It's 2.0. For her to be benched, it has to be that bad. And it's like probably like you literally can't put her on because there's like some type of NCAA
Mm-hmm.
rule. And another thing we have to think about with Reese is, yes, she is the face of the whole women's college basketball. She's not just LSU star
That's what
player.
I'm saying.
She is like you said there, and like you said, if it was a male player of that caliber,
They would have
listen,
treated them entirely different. They would not be
there is a
benched.
whole system making sure that his grades are up,
That's
whether he
right.
like you said, whether he's picking up a book or not.
Yeah,
Okay,
somebody will
um,
be picking up that book for him.
somebody's picking up the
Okay.
book. So anyway, so because of that, she has made a lot of earnings, because the new rules, these players have this new thing where they have their name, image, and likeness can be used for money for their own
Mm-hmm.
gain. And it's estimated that her earning potential is over 1 million. So she has earning potential of over 1 million, but like around that time when she won, I think her NI, like it was actually a fact that her NIL deals were around like half a million. And obviously for a college player, that's a lot, because she's just in college. She's not, and that's only the NIL deals. That doesn't go with her Instagram sponsorships and everything
Right?
else, right? So the girl is raking in money, and sometimes you lose focus when you start making money early. It's hard to focus on the work that you're supposed to be doing, right? Because she's probably making more money than if she was a professional basketball player and not just a college basketball
Yeah,
player.
but
But like,
eventually the money done. Like, money doesn't last forever. You understand
so
what
she
I'm
has to be
saying?
smart. Yeah.
And not only that, but you're not a billionaire, bro. Like,
Hmm.
you're 500,000, a million. That
Hmm.
that's a house. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? Like, come on now, girl. College or
Exactly.
not, college or not. Like, you want longevity, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
So
yeah,
she's
put
a
your head
young
in the
woman
game.
who needs to get focused again. But anyway, hopefully that works out for her, and I hope there's not any tension coming down on the team dynamics with all this nonsense going around.
Well, hope
Um,
not.
so we'll move on to some music drama. The gender wars continue.
Yup.
With Megan the Stallion, when she put out her song Cobra, I think it was called Cobra.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine it wasn't called Cobra. Imagine it was called Python. Let me make sure.
It's called Cobra. I believe it's called Cobra.
Yeah, yeah, it is Cobra. Because I just remember the video. They had the snake skin, so I knew it was like it was either Cobra or some other snake. But
Mm-hmm.
so with her song, she mentions in that song an incident with her, which can only be assumed that happened with her ex, which is Pardison Fontaine, saying that or alleging, it was pretty clear that he must have slept with another woman. He slept with another woman, right? And during the
Mm-hmm.
relationship, and that's probably what likely, who knows, led to their breakup.
Mm-hmm. It
And
sure did.
so Pardison, that was one, and she made a line of that, and Pardison came back and had a whole song about it. And
Mm-hmm.
obviously he put his side, I guess, out,
Mm-hmm.
and he just leveraged all the attention that the song is getting, and
Mm-hmm.
made a song. And he came out with his side of things, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody was all the Tory supporters and the Meg haters were like eating it up. But I can also see it as a man who's just airing out his truth. And hey, I mean, they're artists at the end of the day, so they got to capitalize on the drama and their pain, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, I when we're doing the call out, because yes, everybody, we're gonna have a call out. I have a question to ask that's related to Meg and Party. But in terms of what I've heard so far, because I listened to both songs. Now, y'all know I'm not a Meg fan. I'm not.
Yeah.
I
Mm,
never have been, never will be. She could put string together a few lines, a few bars, but for the most part, I'm not a fan. And
mm,
and it's not even so much her music that I'm not a fan. It's her herself. This whole cobra thing, she's a snake. Yeah, I don't like snakes. I don't like snakes, especially when they're, slithering through the grass. She is very much an opportunist to me. She's very much an opportunist, and this is right up her alley. She inadvertently was talking about her relationship with Party. Stop the fuckery. You did it that way so that you could turn around later on and say, "Well, how do you know I was talking about you?" Please, girl, please. Okay, like miss me with it. I don't like when people try to play me for a fool, um especially when they're not clever. You know what I mean? Like, you're just not clever, Meg. I'm sorry. I don't care who the fuck wants to come for me. Meg, you ain't clever. Okay? Now, Party, you can write. I must say you can write. Now, I never like to see the demise of a black woman. I really don't. So some of the shots that he was throwing at her, I was like, you could have done without that. But this is a hurt guy. This guy's hurt. And in his lyrics, he said that he was going to wife her, that he was going to marry her. So when I heard his song, well written, by the way, I could see like I could feel his pain. Like I could feel that this was very therapeutic for him and letting it out the way that he did. But I'm gonna ask more about that. I'm gonna leave my opinions more for the Carlo because I got a question about
mm.
this right here. So,
Okay.
what do you
So
think
yeah,
about? So, what do you think about this for real though, Jeanette? Like, come on now. I know you love a Megan. I know you love her.
I don't love Meg. Like I don't love Meg like how I like who's new that I really like. Um, I like some decisions. Like, listen, the girl's not perfect, but I think
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of things that have worked in her favor, and I'm excited if she smartens up, continues to smarten up, and
Mm-hmm.
kind of cleans up her team and cleans up the people she has around. I think she has a lot of potential. That's what I like about Meg. I think she has a lot of potential to be like there's a lot of new rap girls, but I mean that can really like have a solid career like a Nicki, like a Cardi, like
Yeah.
the big girls. Like there's a lot of new girls, but I don't see them I feel like flash in the pans. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I don't see a girl right now that is really, I think, has the longevity that and even Cardi's kind of struggling with the longevity piece where I feel can kind of have even have a 25% of what Nicki has. Like, that's all I can wish for these new girls. If they can have the longevity, 25% of the longevity that Nicki's had, which Nicki's going on more than 10 years, maybe
Mm-hmm.
13, 14 years, then that's a success for me. So if a girl can come out and last 5 plus years, that's good.
Right?
And I think Meg is one of those girls. And so what I like about her is I think she has all the pieces to be that person. But obviously in the last 3 years, it's just been completely derailed with a lot of bad decisions. And so, I can admit that she's made some really bad decisions.
Yeah.
And so that's what's coming to haunt her. But I think with this exercising them now, like her having this song, and then this playing out, it's like good. Like now, and somebody being honest, like Party being honest and kind of being like just telling it how it is. It's like you did your dirt too, and that being out there, and now it's like she has to sit with that. You know what I mean? And I'm her
Well,
sitting with that is what I hope takes her to that new point of just moving a little smarter. And so and yeah, so it was I mean, I get it. It's like parties. I'm a fan of parties, so I don't expect anything less. He's going to make a good song, whatever it's about. So,
right?
and he spoke his truth. It's a little, to me, when you're the second person, the person who gets the first hit always wins. Like, if you think about it, because it's like now you're putting so much
Well, not in
effort.
this case because Party was dropping some dimes. He was dropping some pieces. I was
Yeah,
like,
like he no, I mean
Party?
he dropped the dimes, but there's also the other hand. There's like, damn, like you want to make a whole song about this, but it's like, okay, so he let it out, whatever. But I'm fans of them both, and I think they're both hurt, but I think I hope they both learn. I think he's doing the most with Jada Kingdom. Like, I kind of feel like it's kind of like it seems like it's an obvious rebound relationship. It doesn't seem like a real relationship, but have your fun party. Enjoy it for what it is. And I just want both of them to succeed. I don't really think there's a loser in this. I'm like, he has a right to talk about what he wants to talk about.
It's just,
But
for me with Megan, like since she's come in the game, she's
mhm,
had a lot of controversy around her. Like a
mhm,
lot of controversy. I mean, we already know about the Tory Lanez thing, and we
mhm.
get that, right? That
Yeah.
played out for like 2+ years.
Yep.
But I feel like she's always attached to some sort of a drama.
No.
And
Mhm.
that could be a good and bad thing for your career because people could be looking more towards the drama
Yeah,
than
no, it's
your
bad. It's
career.
bad at this point. It's bad, and I think it was like not like it wasn't not no little stupid drama. This is like
That's
going to
what I'm
court.
saying.
This is like so. That's what I'm saying. I hope, and that's where like the snake reference comes in. Like me, of course, I mean, I like my snake business, but
We
I
don't
get it.
like no snake,
But I get
we
it's
don't
about
like
shedding.
them.
It's about shedding your skin,
Yeah, yeah,
shedding the
yeah.
old
She
skin
gave
and
some
all that,
stupid analogy. No, you a
right?
snake in the grass, girl. You a
Okay,
snake in the
so
grass. That's what I think personally. And you definitely showed me that you are like I felt like she was being her true self in that song. She just seems, and when I say opportunistic, and I get she's in an industry where you have to take the
you have to
opportunity, you
be,
have to
yeah,
seize
yeah.
the opportunity, right? But I find that the way that she goes about it is that she's like one of those fake people, those fake friends that will come around you and be like kiki up with you until they get the opportunity and then they drop you like hotcakes. Yeah, she just there's something about her I just can't get my head around. I
Mm,
and because I can't get my head around her, I can't get my head around her music. But what I will say, and I don't have a lot of compliments for Meg, but what I will say for her is that she did something different. Okay,
mhm,
because talking about you popping your booty and popping your pussy every 2 minutes, yeah, okay, it was getting stale.
mhm,
So this song kind of resurrected your talents and your abilities from the
yes,
eyes of the listener, right? Because
yes.
or from the ears of the listener, I should say. And for myself, that's when I was like, "Oh, okay, she did something different. Okay, that's good. Let's go back. Let's stay with this. Let's stay
Mhm.
with this. You're
Yeah.
not going to convert me anytime soon, but let's stay with this. Like let's
Yeah.
try something different, right?" Um but anyway,
Yeah.
we're gonna go into the call out because I have my question regarding the two of them too.
Yeah, well, quick thing before we go to the
Oh
call
yes.
out.
Oh
I
yes.
wanted to call out Andre 3000. He put out a new album, and
AKA
surprise,
instrumental. Mm-hmm.
yeah, surprise, surprise, it's not it's not a rap album. It is an instrumental album for the flute, which
Wow.
been seeing him on Instagram in random places, popping up, playing his flute. So everybody listening, we should not be surprised that there's a flute album from Andre 3000. I'm just glad he's expressing himself creatively. But the
Right.
album is called New Blue Sun, and I am actually somebody who listens to instrumentals and new
Me
age
too.
music
Yeah.
and new age music because I find it calming and relaxing. It's a genre that helps me to work, clean, or if I'm at, just something that relaxes my spirit. And so
Mm-hmm.
I actually listened to most of it and I enjoyed it very much. It's what kills me is the name of the tracks. He has track names like
I heard they're like ridiculous.
yeah. So just to give you guys an example, there's a track called "I Really Wanted to Make a Rap Album," but I literally, but this literally the way the wind blew me this time. Um, there's one that's called "The Slang Word Pussy Rolls Off the Tongue with Far Better Ease Than the Proper Word Vagina. Do you agree?" And so on and so forth.
This is
So
the
if
name of the song. These are the
it's
names.
worth checking out just to see what the hell he named the track. So yeah, just everybody, if even I think there's a lot of people who maybe don't listen to instrumentals who just said it's Andre 3000, so I'm gonna have to give it a listen to just see where he's at. And so
All I gotta
yeah.
say about this situation with Andre, listen, if
Oh,
you
he's still
didn't,
fine
if
as hell. That's all I
he's
gotta
so
say.
he's even with he's getting older and he has
Yes,
the
he's grayed up.
pepper and salt and yeah, he's looking good, Andre. No, but here's the thing, is that if Andre didn't build himself to the point where he is right now, there is no goddamn way he would drop this album.
Mm,
If Andre 3000 wasn't who he is right now, from putting in some hardcore work to get the
yes, to
name
get.
Andre 3000, there is no
Mhm.
way he would be dropping an instrumental of any kind from a flute. Are you serious?
Yeah,
But
so
you know
he
what?
put in the time to get better at an instrument and
Right? He just wouldn't drop this type of album because I think it would have been like career suicide. But we all know Andre 3000 as being a really unique talent, and he brings out a different dynamic in the music industry, which, to be quite honest, we kind of need, because the
mhm.
same old is being pumped every day. So having something original, fresh, innovative, like I can see that from him. But let's just keep it a buck. If Andre
Mhm.
3000 was not Andre 3000 and this record was dropped, nobody would go out there and give it a second look. I'm just keeping it real. It's because it's Andre 3000. It's because it's him that people are even interested in listening to this
Of
record.
course, yeah.
Okay? Because it couldn't have been just Joe Schmo on the corner, okay, trying a music career with an instrumental. Nah, it couldn't have been, fam. So I'm glad that he's throwing in something different into the industry. But I expect that from him. Like I think if he were doing cookie cutter, I would think there was something wrong with him.
No, but
Like,
he said it. He did an interview with GQ that's on YouTube now. It's on my list to watch, and yeah, and he says like I'm 40 years old. I don't feel that's not me. Like I don't want to rap. What am I gonna? He doesn't have anything to rap at 48 years old. Maybe Jay-Z could still do it, and he has. But for
yeah, but
Andre
even
3000,
Jay-Z, what you telling us, Jay-Z, about all the paintings that you've bought? Like, really? I think once you've hit a different part of your life, that rap just doesn't fit.
for
Unless you
some
make it
people,
fit.
yeah, unless
Unless
you
you
make
make
it
it
fit.
fit,
Like
right?
there's a way to make it fit. We've seen people make it fit, but for Andre, it's not his thing, and that's
No,
completely
not
fine.
anymore. I think
Hmm.
he's grown from that. He's,
Hmm.
but we could see the elevation of his career. Like, we could see that the rap wasn't the end all be all for him.
Yes.
But congratulations, Andre Rita. Everybody is raving about it. Supposedly, a lot of people are saying the same thing you're saying, that it's a very nice album, and
Hmm.
the titles of these songs are just outlandish. But you know what?
Mm.
I'm gonna take a listen just because it's Andre 3000.
Yeah, just for that
He's so
alone.
damn sexy, even with his
The
old ass. He's still good. He's still good. But I guess we'll move on into the Carlos.
call out.
It's the call. Yes, this is where we put each other into the hot seat and we ask each other questions that have to be answered. There's been a lot. We were talking about Meg and Party, and I'm going to preface my question. So, we see that they were together for about 2 years. Okay.
Hmm.
Yes, they're celebrities, but my question pertains to two people in a relationship in general, right?
Hmm.
And we can see that Meg came out and said a little something, and Party came out and let the whole thing out. Like he let the whole thing out. So my question is, once a relationship has ended, whether it was amicable, a horrible experience, is it okay to tell all? Now, I ask that because I've been hearing, different opinions about this Megan Party thing. And
Hmm.
some people were saying, well, Meg came out first, but she didn't put a name to it. We all know who she was with. We all know who her last man was.
Hmm. Hmm.
So we know that she was talking about him. However,
Hmm.
she did it in a sly, sneaky
Hmm.
snake type of way,
Hmm. Hmm.
cobra, snake kind of way. Where she didn't actually say his name, but we know who she's talking about. Now,
Yeah,
Party
which is
obviously
pretty
knew.
much usually how call outs are done in hip hop.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody has enough balls to just say it out, like to just
Yeah.
say it,
Yeah.
except for Party. Party said it all. He put
Hmm.
her whole business out on Front Street. He sure
Hmm.
did. And is that okay? Now, some people are saying, well, he came back at her. She shouldn't have done it to begin with. She should have kept her mouth shut and kept it pushing and didn't say anything about it. Um, but then some people are saying, well, he's a pom pom because why is he even responding to this? And,
Hmm.
and some people are saying, well, he went too far. So the question again is, once a relationship has ended, good, bad, amicable or not, is it okay to tell all? My answer to that question is hell to the damn no. And I think, Party, you should have. I know that you were letting out your feelings, and a lot of times in this society, we don't let men have that space to let out how they're feeling. So I'm glad to see that you let that out, right? Because she obviously was significant to you in your life. However, you went too far, bro. Like you were talking too much. You're talking too much. Now, in terms of Meg and Party, they're superstars, they're celebrities, so let's put them aside for a sec. But just in a general relationship, just a everyday schmegular type of relationship, I don't think it's a good thing. I think you should shut the hell up. That was between you and them. Not everybody needs to know. You don't need to, put it on Front Street like that. Like I think that both of them, they were wrong. When you end a relationship, just let it be. What do you think?
It's weird because we're talking about like people who make money off of, you know, creating content, whether it's music, whether it's whatever, right?
Right.
So I feel in this scenario where we're talking about artists, it's hard for me to say anything. And I guess the question with this scenario is if she didn't call him out, you know what? I don't think I'm gonna like to believe if she didn't call him out that he wouldn't make the song. Like I don't think, but to me, it's almost like he was sitting on the song. If you ask me, now that I think about it, it's like he was waiting. It's like he didn't even have to go and record. That shit was already recorded. Now that I'm
And
thinking about
this
it,
is this is another reason why I don't like Meg. And
but
I'll put it to that because you know what? He probably did have this saved up because he was with her for 2 years. You learn a lot about people and how they flex in 2 years. And so he was like, let her say something. Let her drop a track. I'm ready. I
yeah,
got
now
it
that I
on
think,
standby.
but anyway, but back to your question, to your
Party and
well,
naive
thinking about your
me.
question, like at the end of the day, if I think about it, like two people were involved in the relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like you
Mm-hmm.
said, it's either you say something, you say nothing, or you say everything, or you say whatever you want, because like just think about you, like if you were in a relationship that ended, whether good, bad, or indifferent, you're gonna might talk to your sister or your family member, you're gonna talk to your friend and tell them that, like that's still like based
But you
on
don't put
like
it on Front Street.
yeah, but we're not, that's what I'm saying, we're talking about different, it's different when we talk about artists, right? Because anything they do, like hundreds of thousands of people at the very least minimum are going to hear about it. But anyway, I'll just say, we're individuals and we live in a free country, so if you want to express yourself, express it, but you have to be ready, like you said, like just like she opened the door She opened the door, and he had that song. He was sitting on that shit.
Yeah,
So
he busts right through that
you
door. He
open the
busts right
door
through
for
it.
some,
Yeah.
for some stuff. So you just need to be ready. Like, I think people should be able to express whatever they want about anything that they've been involved in,
That is
but
true.
you also have to be ready. Like, the thing is, if you do it, just know
Right?
everybody's judging you. Just like when you are in a relationship and you're going through a turbulent time, and sometimes back in the day, old folks used to say, "Don't talk your business," right? Because
Yep.
when you're at, like, say if you're in a marriage or a relationship, anything, and there's like some rocky period where things get a little rocky,
Mm-hmm.
and then when and you go to people and you tell a lot, stuff that happens, then sometimes it opens the door for a lot of outside people coming into the relationship, and maybe a situation that could have been reconciled. There's a lot of tension from outside sources. But just know, when you go out, you have to understand yourself when you do make things public, and you need to understand the perception
Mm-hmm.
and how people are
Mm-hmm.
going to react, and just be ready for any reaction. That's it. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
don't think anybody should be silent about anything they go through, but you just have to be ready for the feedback and judgment.
Well, and that's why I kind of feel like, yes, Meg and Party are a little different. However, they spark the question, and that is,
Mhm.
in a relationship, because now we have social media, right?
Mm.
So back in the day, you could break up with someone, and that's all you had was your inner circle that you could tell it to,
Yep.
right? But now we have social media, so you could go and tell somebody in Japan that your boyfriend was a this and a that and a this and a that.
Mm.
You understand
Mm.
what I'm saying? So I
In
just feel
yeah,
like,
in that scenario, you going online, yeah, that's just weird.
but to
I
me it's
mean,
almost like, I outside of the prestige of being a celebrity, it's the same thing to me, because they both can go to places and to people that you might not intend to go. Like, you made a whole flipping song, you know? I don't know. I'm just saying for myself. What, and it applies not even in romantic relationships with me. It's general relationships. Like, there's been people who I've been friends with that I kind of, we're not friends anymore, and I've never went on any sort of platform to bad talk them or to talk about what we had in our friendship, or who they were, what the. Now, if it's my intimate person in my life that I feel comfortable discussing it with, maybe I will, but that's between you and me. That's not me, you, and billions of people. So I don't know that I. But anywho, let's move on. So, what is your question for me?
um, the question is, what is, well, first let me explain. There's this thing
Mm-hmm.
popular, it's not popular, but it is, I feel like it's making a resurgence, where people are talking about their icks.
Mm.
Their icks. And I mean, I mean, it seems obvious, but I'll an ick is pretty much something that turns you off,
Mm-hmm.
making you completely disgusted. Usually it could be, people might use it in, like, if they're dating and they're like, you're just playing the scene, and then people display something that makes you, it's icky to you. But it could be, I think it could be anything. And so an ick for me, if I think about, like, there's so many icks. Like, it could be
Right?
bodily.
Oh
there's so
gosh.
many. There's so many. There's obvious ones, like with the bodily one, like obviously bad breath. That's like, that will kill
Mm-hmm.
anybody. But I'll go with this one. I'll go. I think, I feel like I've talked about this before, but like, when you meet somebody, doesn't matter who. It could be
Yeah.
romantic, could be social, could be work, whatever, social circle. And like, literally the second, like, not even the third question is, what do you do?
You hate that so much. She
Like,
hates that so much, people. She
I'll just
can't
be
stand
like,
that shit. She can't stand that shit, yo. I'm telling you. Oh
I'll
my
be
gosh.
like, damn, can you like ask me like what I enjoy, what I do
Right?
for
Like, who am
fun?
I? Like, who
You
am
like,
I?
yeah, before, what do I do? Like, that's,
Oh
yeah.
gosh, listeners, she can't stand that question. You understand me? Don't ask. Don't ask. Because if you do, you're gonna get that side eye, that
No, I
bombastic
mean
side eye. Like really?
you could ask, but that needs to be like that maybe needs to be like the eighth, like the seventh to eighth question. If
You gotta
we're
know her a few months. You gotta know
not
her a
even
few months.
if you, but I'm saying if there's a line,
You can't stand that shit, yo.
what I'm saying is that's
Ooh,
fine. It's
wee.
normal. I don't get it. Let me not be. I'm not that crazy. Like it's a normal. It's a. I get. It's. We live in a capitalist society. It's a natural question to ask. I'm not saying it's creepy to ask. I'm just saying it
No,
shouldn't.
but you
I'm
just
just
don't.
saying
You get to know me,
it
like
shouldn't be your first. You shouldn't be your top
girl.
three question. It could be your like seventh. It could be your like seventh question. I wouldn't mind if we're having a conversation and then you've been asking your questions. Like if it's your sixth or seventh question, I'll remove the ick factor.
I think over the years, what I've gathered is that you are more than your job, and you
Yes.
want people to know who you are versus what you do. The society we live in, they don't give a shit about who you are. They want to know what you do because
Yes.
that's how they define who you are,
That's the
unfortunately.
problem, and that's the
And that's the
problem I
problem.
have
I know.
because
I know.
it's a very superficial size you up type
Right?
question, and it's
Like
like
all of who you are is rolled up into that one answer. Like
I damn near want
really?
to lie. I damn near want to lie sometimes. It's like,
Right?
okay, you want to be so fast? I'll give you something to think about.
I think to answer your question, one thing that gives me ick a lot, like, and it almost makes me aggressive, that is because, okay, um, in a job setting, a white woman's tears. I just can't take that
Ooh,
shit, yo.
yo, damn, Kim with the hammer.
You see what I'm
Yeah.
telling you? I just can't. Like when you're in a work situation, okay?
Mhm.
I'm not talking about you knowing someone who is white or no, no. I'm talking about we're all employees. We all have our check signed by the same
Mhm.
somebody. And
Mhm.
you want to ball out with your tears. Every minute is a tears. And it's like I think it's because as black people, especially Caribbean people here in Canada, we have a strong work ethic. Strong work ethic. And a lot of us are willing to take accountability when we're wrong, right? So when I'm in those situations and you know that you're wrong, but here come the waterworks, it irks me
Mm.
because I know I can't do the same.
Mm.
I think that's what bothers me. Not that I would, because the person who I am and how I
I
was
know what you mean,
raised,
but the reaction if you were to react with tears in that same scenario, you would not get the same empathy.
not at all. Not at all. Not even for a little bit. And so I think that's something that really irks me because it's just like the weapon of their tears is so ridiculous. And to see
Mm.
people fawn over them and just fumble for them and just make exception for them just because you I have tear ducts too, heifer. Like just because you cry, like really. I work with this really, really nice lady. She's
Mhm.
really, really nice, and I care for her. I do, and her family. But she often gets overwhelmed with everything.
Oh Lord,
Girl,
she has a lot. Something else is going on there.
she has a lot going on in her life, and I get that,
Mm.
right? But so do I.
Mm.
Right? And so does everybody else that works here. We all have lives outside of our job, right?
Yes, yes.
However, for some particular reason, I have to toughen up when I walk through the door. And if the printer has a problem, I can't be breaking down to cry because people will think I'm damn near crazy. So that whole situation in the workplace, especially. Now,
Mhm.
outside of the workplace, I'm a little bit more empathetic, I
Yeah,
guess.
can be empathetic. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good.
But when I'm in the workplace, I'm held to a different standard than everybody else in here.
And
Just
that's the
call it a
only and
spade.
that's the only reason why it's an ick. It's an ick because it's like you
I
see
don't got
something
the same. I
happening.
don't got the same. Like you just said, I don't have the same empathy. I'm held to a different standard, and I'm almost expected to be like ice, to
Mm.
let it roll off my back, not be aggressive about it. When I
Hmm.
have something in contrary to what they're saying, I can't be aggressive. You know, so yeah, that's an ick that I have. And I've
Oh,
realized that.
that's a really good one. That's a really good one.
You know what
Whoo.
it is? I think, to be quite honest, is because when I go to work, I go to work.
Hmm.
That's how I was taught. When you go to work, you go to work. You go to do the best you can. You do the best job that you can. You're polite. You're on time. You're punctual. You're this, that, the third. So there's a standard that I have when I'm going to work. So when I see you crying over the damn printer, like, bruh, it's part of your job. Figure it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your crocodile tears ain't gonna help right now. Anyhow, that's my ick. So let's move on into the workout.
The workout.
Yes, the workout. We have a lot to work out. Get your
Hmm.
mind ready. Get your towel, because this is serious fitness we have to do here. So today, because these people in these streets. So, okay, now we all know what's going on in the streets with Diddy.
Whoo. Dewey.
Woo! We talked about it a little bit the last show,
Yeah.
and we're gonna. This is it. The floodgates have opened.
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
and Cassie, you have opened the door, the Pandora's box. I said this last time we talked about it. I said she opened up a box that we don't even you like. I don't even think she realizes what she did. Like, I really don't think so. I think she had a
Mm.
motivation for herself and for
Yeah.
her family, but I
Mm.
really don't think that she understands what all transpires here. Like, what is happening, because
Mm.
there's allegations coming out left, right, and damn center.
Yep.
Okay, everybody likes to call him Diddy. I'm gonna call him Puffy, okay, because that's how I know him. It doesn't roll off the tongue for me the same way. He's
Mm.
Puffy, okay. So Puffy has allegations coming from left, right, and center. Okay, this man's holding his stomach. Ah, such a thing. Yeah, you should, because the
Mm-hmm.
shit has hit the fan. Okay, he is being sued by countless people, not just him, but Bad Boy and people that are a part of Bad Boy. Um, there's allegations coming from all sorts of places, and I feel like this whole Diddy situation started opening up Pandora's box for all other people within the industry to be
Mm-hmm.
sued. It's a Me Too movement, people. This is the hip hop Me Too movement right here. This is the black entertainment movement right here. And P. Diddy, you spearheaded this one, okay? With your allegations. He can't turn around and don't have allegations dropping. So when we speak of allegations, there's another person that I want to mention, and that's Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
Now, I never would have thought, but he too has allegations. There are different people from Bad Boy. I think he was the president of Bad Boy at one point. He's in allegations. There's allegations left, right, and damn center.
Mm.
Now, Cassie, girl, you
Hmm.
better take that 100 million and run. Um, that's what I
I
gotta
like
tell
I
you.
like that you said 100 million, because people around here thinking she got less than 30. I was like, are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me?
She got way above whatever she initially asked for. There's just no way she got less. But anyway,
There's no
continue.
way in
Sorry.
hell she got less. So there's so many allegations out here, along with the fact that she got nine figures. Now we all
Mhm.
know, if we do a little math, that nine figures is at the very minimum 100 million.
Woo! Yeah.
Whew, especially since Diddy supposedly is a billionaire, but we find out more over time that Diddy might not be a billionaire. He might be close, but he's not. And
Hmm.
so 100 million, yeah, that's gonna hurt your pocket. That's gonna hurt your pocket. But she called your bluff. She called your bluff. She has destroyed you, because now everybody and their mother is pulling out. Everybody and their mother, okay,
Yep.
wants nothing to do with him. An example of that is Macy's. I didn't even know Sean John still sold. but they're
Mm.
pulling his shit out their store.
Yep.
Macy's is saying, "Get up out of here, bro." The tequila brand, they've been steady trying to get him off the brand.
Yeah,
Okay,
because he tried to sue them, and yep,
for the Joker, or no, sue them for
racial
he says
discrimination.
racial, yeah, being racist while doing business.
So
And so
now, from that point, they've probably been wanting to get rid of him.
there's so much allegations. Okay, so we know what he's done to Cassie, and
Mm-hmm.
allegedly, I'm gonna put
Mm.
the big allegedly disclaimer out from now, because I don't plan on saying it every 2 seconds. So
Yeah.
this is allegedly that, Diddy was doing some real dirt. He was doing some real dirt that could have real percussions for him. Outside of him with Cassie, he was trafficking sex workers. He was trafficking male sex workers. Um, and they are slowly putting together putting together their lawsuits. Now, I did want to mention that in the United States, in New York, the statute of limitations came
Yes.
up on November 24th. So if you were going to sue somebody, now was the time. Statute of limitations period was going to be somewhat abolished on the 24th of November. So this is why we're seeing people suing left, right, and down center. Okay.
Yeah, specifically, it's the New York Adult Survivors Act. So any incidents that happened in New York specifically, that's where we're getting all the politicians like Andrew Cuomo, the mayor Eric Adams, Jamie Foxx. All of these incidents happened in New York, and so with that expiring, where there's going to be a limit of time that before, regardless of time, you could come as an adult survivor of abuse or whatever. But now with this law that you said that just expired, that's where we got a crazy tally of these incidences that happened in New York coming up in this short
Yeah.
time frame.
And so Puffy's baby mother, his first baby mother, I believe it was his first. Yes,
Yeah, Kim Porter.
Justin, not Kim Porter, no.
Mm.
Mina, what's her name now? Misa Hilton?
Misa Hilton, is that? Oh, I didn't know that was his first baby
I
mother.
think that was his
Okay,
first. That's no,
I think
no.
Kim
Kim
was.
Porter was the first.
Yeah, yeah,
But his second son, Justin,
yeah. That's
who
Misa's son. Yeah.
that's Misa's son, who just had, what is it, drunk
Yeah,
driving
yeah.
situation. She came out then when her son had this drunk driving accident, and said that she's not standing up for Diddy anymore. She's not. She's not.
Okay.
She's so his baby mother's starting to fold. She's starting to fold because she's been somewhat protective of him over the years, but now she's like, nah, it's all about my son. I'm not protecting you and your shenanigans anymore. So, she too is saying that he was abusive,
Hmm.
that he was very abusive. Um, you know, uh, she has a lawsuit against him for the abuse. She's just coming out with that now.
Damn.
Cassie had to open up her mouth. That's all she had to do. And speaking of opening up their mouth, Kimora Lee, who was besties with Kim Porter, right? She had some allegations of her own, and said that while she was pregnant, that Diddy, yeah, I think something happened where Kim didn't want to do something, and he started to get rough with her, and she then stepped up and piped up and said something, and he slapped the shit out of her while she was pregnant.
Mm-mm.
This is Kamara Lee. Uh-huh. Right. Um, I want you guys to notice a trend here. That a lot of these allegations from these women, they were very young. Very young. Kamara Lee was 16 when what's his face? Russell met her. Okay? She was in high school. He was almost 34 years old. Okay? Yeah. Now we see Cassie. Cassie was 18, 19 years old when she got swept away with Diddy. Right. I just want to point that out. They're all young girls here.
Mm-hmm,
They're
mm-hmm.
all young girls. What is not being said is I really want to know what Young Miami's thinking, because she's hush hush in this shit. But what she doesn't realize is that even being hush hush, you are too speaking volumes. You're
Yeah, well,
speaking
I rather,
volumes.
I honestly like, she's in a tough space. Like, I rather her, this is a time for her to be quiet. Like, she should be quiet. I know, it's like, yeah, we talk, people are making jokes and games here, but like, in all seriousness, is the kind of charges that are now coming against him, and allegations. Yes, like, you're not married to the man. Yeah, keep distance yourself as far as possible. My girl, it's hard because you're literally in a relationship, but like, that's the only thing she can do is be silent. Like, these are, like I said, these are serious allegations that people are saying, Carisha this, Carisha that. Carisha has a family to look after.
Right?
Carisha has a business to protect. Um, I don't know. Like, I get people's curiosity, but and in the same breath, people should also be like, yeah, she's gonna have to be kind of quiet on this too. If we're really like looking at these charges that and what he's facing right now, it's like time to distance yourself.
Yeah, and I agree somewhat with that. I think that Young Miami, you need to monopolize off of this. You do. You do. And I don't know how you're going to do it, but I think you need to get in while you can, because everybody and their mother is coming for this man's money. Everybody's coming for him. So you might want to get in when you can, if you haven't already. But with all jokes aside, though, I think you need to run. I think you need to step away from this man. She said, made a comment that if he tried it with her, that she would, defend herself and have to do whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, why even put yourself in that situation? You don't understand how powerful this man is. You really don't. Yes, he has some pull, and yes, he has some infamy, but the power that he has for people to hide stuff, this girl was going through this for a decade. Do you know how many
Yeah,
people saw her? She she even in her own
he beat her ass in front of multiple people.
multiple people. She walked around with bruises on her face. Her family took pictures of her bruised face. Okay? He didn't just slap her up, he stomped her out.
Yep.
Okay? So there's no way you could get up from that and not have a busted lip or a broken this or that. So people saw it. And not only so, okay, another allegation is from 50 Cent. So we already know 50 don't like Puffy, not for a second. Okay, he's had his foot up on Puffy's neck from time. He can't stand him. Okay, he's gone into several interviews and talked about Puffy. One time he offered to take him on a shopping, like to take him shopping. Oh my god, the way that 50 was just embarrassing this man for even making the suggestion, you can tell. Not only that, but Puffy sent 50 pictures of Cassie. So we now know, it is now confirmed through Puffy's lips, sorry, through 50's
50,
lips,
yeah.
that he was trafficking Cassie, because
Yeah.
he was sending him pictures, and not pictures that are very, they're not sexy. Like these are grimy ass pictures. And so he was pimping her out to different people in Hollywood. So that means to say all these people stood by, you know? But 50, I'll give him one thing. He's a troublemaker when he's ready. However, he called up Puffy and he said, somebody sent me a girl, like on this pictures here. And
Hmm.
yeah, can you not? And Puffy's response was very lackluster, and he was just like, well, yeah, so you got them. Okay. Because he was pimping her out, and he was hoping that 50 would take the bait, but he didn't.
Hmm.
Okay, he didn't. Now, one thing I did mention not too long ago was about Jamie Foxx. I
Now
know
Jamie,
Jamie
yep.
Foxx is in the. I know he's been in the. I know he's been in the game. He's been in the game. He's been out there. He's in the streets. He's been at the parties. He's been. I get it. I get it. But I never ever would have thought that he would have sexually assaulted somebody. I never would have thought that he would have allegations of that.
Mm.
I really wouldn't have thought this. But one thing that came to mind when I heard about Jamie Foxx, they cloned him. They cloned him, and now they're destroying him because that's just my. I don't know. That's just my theory. That's just my conspiracy theory. Call it what you will. I don't give a shit. At the end of the day, I never would have thought that you would put Jamie Foxx in the same sentence as a sexual assault, especially how it was described here. That one of his fans, he pretty much pulled her to the side and put his hand up her crotch.
Oh my God.
Okay, up her crotch, up her anus. Yeah, yeah, and she had to have surgery.
Oh, I didn't see that in the for Jamie
For
Foxx.
Jamie Foxx, this is what I'm telling you. Another alleged situation. Go look, go find that out. I'm
The
gonna.
one I saw was just groping. I only saw a groping
No,
one. Damn. Ooh, so.
no, I get no. Yes, the young lady was very. She was a virgin,
Mm-hmm.
and he pretty much assaulted her in a side alley.
Mm-hmm.
Disgusting. Um, I will say with Young Miami, people might start, you know, giving you the side eye.
Mm-hmm.
They might start looking at you funny.
She's in a
Um,
tough place though. She's in
I
a
don't think
really
it's
tough.
that tough though. I don't think it's
I
that
do
tough. Why? Her show,
because
I think her show would still press on.
it's not even about her show. I think it's like, remember, she like Diddy is still connected to her, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And also, like the court of public opinion is ruthless. So I don't think there's anything she could say or do right now to come out like untouched by the situation. So why open yourself for attack? For me personally, like she's gonna be attacked. She's already being attacked, right? So you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. So unless you have something very specific, like she probably doesn't know what to say. And these are like again what I said. These are serious charges. When in doubt, this isn't no rumor business. This is like charges like
Right?
with evidence. Like, yeah, there's nothing to say. Like there's nothing to say right now. I think for her own protection of herself, I think she should be quiet. I do think she should be quiet for now. Like you said, she has some shows, she has some stuff, she's on that network. If it has anything to do with her show and the future of her show, sure. If it has
Right.
anything to do how she's feeling, like how she's doing with all this attention, okay, I think I'm okay with that. But anything else, uh, or like you said, denying like or saying that you're not affiliate, I don't know what you say. It's all gonna sound fake anyway, you know.
Exactly.
So that's why it's kind of like it's almost like it's better if you be quiet.
Well, I just feel like at this point, I don't know how far she can separate herself.
No, she can't completely separate herself at this
No,
point.
and I think you're kind of opening up yourself to I don't know, Young Miami. Like I think you need to keep it pushing, girl. You need to not just distance yourself. You need to leave him altogether. Um, but yeah, so this is all happening while we still have Keith Dio here, who is saying that Puffy had something to do with Biggie Smalls and Tupac's death. So when we say allegations, he has them left, right, and damn center. And all of his revenues are drying up. They're drying up real fast and in a hurry. Okay? I mean, there's been lots of people who have been calling out, Puffy for years. Danity Kane, for instance.
Yeah.
Danity Kane has been calling him out for years. But I think that Cassie had to do this. She had to do this. She had to, because there's no way that you could be with someone for that long and not know the inner workings of their darkest secrets. She knows a lot of information. She sure does. But
Yeah, I
Puffy
think
was a
that was just
damn
a tip of
idiot. He was
yeah,
an
I think that was
idiot
just a tip of that was just a tip of the iceberg in that lawsuit. I think whew, it was as bad as that lawsuit was. Hmm.
just the
I think that was
beginning.
just a tip of that was a tip of the iceberg. But yeah, so continuing with the fallout, there's been there's a woman on his show who is on one of his podcasts on Revolt, and it's called Monuments of Me, and her name is Dawn Montgomery, and she has decided not to renew her contract with the show because she is a survivor of sexual assault. So she has left her show on that network for obviously personal reasons. Um, and that's because of her. She was, and she said she was going to use her voice to support that cause because she was personally a victim of that, and it's a sensitive topic. There are a lot of people who are um, coming with comments to say, what about the other people, or what, she's just doing that as a performance, it's performative. But I mean, that's her decision. I don't expect, and that's brave, maybe that she has a choice to do that, maybe she doesn't have the choice, but because of personal reasons, yeah, like if you're a victim of sexual assault, this is going to be very triggering to you, and you don't want to be affiliated with an organization or person that has been accused of doing that multiple times.
Right?
And the people who stay, that's fine, who cares, you have to, yeah, that's your livelihood, like we're talking about Young Miami, that's your livelihood, that's your show. At the end of the day, that's your own choice. But like, this woman making a decision for herself doesn't have to affect anybody, but that's just saying that, like you said, people are distancing themselves, like the companies, people who work for him are distancing themselves. And then on top of that, there was another allegation against him and the singer from Guy, Aaron Hall, where they both
Mm-hmm.
both raped a young woman in the 90s, and that's another one where there's a graphic report of pretty much sexual assault that happened in New York. So
Mm-hmm.
it's, and like we said when we talked about this last week, we know just the lifestyle that they're living, and what was all the allegations from Cassie's lawsuit. He did that to other women. Gary, 110% sure.
110.
Um,
110. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it for the world.
yep. So that's more coming through, and there was one more fallout for him outside of those two people
And there's
and
another
Deleon.
allegation
Mhm.
that he killed Kim Porter. A
Well,
lot
that's
of people
always
are
been
saying that he
that was
did.
always the allegation, because that
Well,
was
from
like,
back in the day, a lot of people thought,
because it was weird, because
no.
she's a 47-year-old woman. We've never known her to be sick. We don't know her to take like hardcore drugs. Because I was saying I would have accepted if it was like drugs, and like I don't need to know she's a drug dealer, but like that's the only thing where somebody would die like that is like they have a long history of drugs. And when they didn't say anything about drugs, they just said that she died in she no, she didn't die of pneumonia. She had flu like symptoms, and they said it was like some type of pneumonia that I think they diagnosed. I said, NASA, for you to die, okay. Even a senior who has pneumonia, which they are more likely to die, somebody who's very elderly can die from pneumonia very easily, didn't have to
Hmm.
have the pneumonia for a few days before they keel over. So
You
how
have
is
to
a
have it for a few weeks. A few
right?
weeks.
And that's somebody who's
Especially if you're
frail.
not. Okay, if someone gets sick, right, and you don't know it's pneumonia yet, or
Yeah.
it hasn't gone that far, then you're going to start doing small things to remedy your body, right? So it's
Mhm.
not going to happen overnight or
Exactly.
instantaneously how they want to portray it. So between Kimora Lee, okay, and all that we've been hearing about Kim Porter going to, just before she died, she was going to have a tell all book. Yep. And now we're hearing allegations again that he was looking for a coffin for her just before she died, a month before she died, a month before she was supposed to reveal her book. She mysteriously died from pneumonia. Miss me with it. Okay. That's a bunch of bullshit. That's what that is. And the allegations about Diddy, like honestly, he was a real demon.
Mm.
The things that we're hearing, the allegations that are coming out, the amount of people, we all can't be wrong. They all can't be wrong.
Well, the one thing that is glaring is that there is not one person, as much as there's people saying, why did Cassie come with this now? Why did Cassie take the money? Blah, 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 victim blaming as usual. One thing I haven't heard yet is anybody coming out to say Diddy didn't do it. We don't have anybody who's confidently swing, like really coming to
Yep,
defend
nada.
their mans. Nobody's really defending, coming out like, when people, like, I guess it's scary, like people want to stay away from the drama, but there's always someone who's gonna come and counteract it. Oh, here's Foxy Brown. Sorry, I have to say this. I laughed. So Foxy Brown, oh Lord, Foxy Brown, poor thing. Ever since she lost a little bit of her hearing and it came back, I feel like she's just like on another planet.
She
So
sure is.
Foxy Brown came on and put on her stories that uh I wouldn't say it's a full defense, but she said something to the effect of um dead ass dead so somebody was like somebody messaged her and said that she's thankful that uh she didn't get caught up in the drama or get caught up with Diddy like that because she wasn't like right. But then she said in response, dead ass though Diddy gave me M's, meaning millions. For me it was the best of both worlds. Def Jam times Bad Boy collabo. Super checkmate. And she posted that text message that she had with whoever that guy was on her stories. So people are taking that as a defense. To me, that's not a defense. That's just more saying that I didn't have no problems. I made
Hmm.
money with him. That's it. That's okay. I think yeah, he made money with a lot of people. He didn't abuse everybody, but he abused some people. But for her to actually go out of her way to post that, I guess maybe that's where it kind of can seem a little bit like you're in doing some type of defending. But
Hmm.
him giving you money doesn't mean he's not a complete demon.
He
Like, you know
sure
what I
is a
mean?
demon. And the game, the rapper, the game,
Oh,
he
he's always
said,
another one out to lunch.
yeah, but he was saying that Diddy forced him into a gay relationship.
What? What?
So
I've
when I
never heard
say
that.
demon, right? I'm not lightly saying he's a demon. He's a demon walking around. Um, you know what, Puffy, your day has come.
Oh, it came, boy. Woo!
It has come. And you're gonna be underneath the jail soon.
I don't know if he's gonna be in jail, but
Yeah,
he
I
doesn't.
think
He doesn't need.
yeah,
To, I don't
yeah.
know.
Long
I don't know.
long haul. Right now, everybody has to come up with their allegations. You see, the reason why I say he's going to go to jail is because Diddy has always thought that he was the most powerful and that
Hmm.
nobody could bring his ass down. And what
Yeah.
happens to men like that is that they'll scramble at the end to hold
Hmm.
on to whatever power they can, right? And that's usually when they mess up the worst,
Yeah.
right? Is scrambling for
But we
power.
also know when it comes to these things, it's really hard for these people to be convicted. So I won't say
He
I
has
mean,
he has half of Black Hollywood after his ass. He
well,
has
Black
half of
Hollywood,
the
but
music industry after his, like
Kim,
you're not safe, Diddy.
Kimmy, but we know it's like black. It doesn't really go anywhere unless come on, my girl.
No, but what I do know, yeah, I hear you.
You
But
know
what
the
I do
color,
know
the
about our
complexion for the protection.
right, right. But what I do know about us black people is we take it into our own hands, right? We don't wait for convictions.
Well, that's what I mean. He's definitely been brought down. He's been cut to size, as they say, and I think he has more falling to do. But I'd be surprised if he actually got jailed for this. I mean, he should be,
Well,
but
I would be surprised if he made it to the jail. That's what I would be
yeah,
surprised.
yeah,
But I personally believe that if the streets don't take care of him, the judicial system is coming for his ass.
okay,
He's too powerful.
Yeah, he
He's too
is
powerful.
very.
And
You see,
and
I actually didn't know he was this powerful until I saw
well,
everything. I was like, he got away with all of that.
right? Well, look, Cassie said in her deposition, she said that when they were at a hotel, there was hotel footage. He paid the hotel
Yes.
$50,000 for their footage, and they did it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did it. That's all I needed to know.
Right? So a big ass hotel is gonna give you their for real? Wow. So he has a lot of pull. However, when you have that, it's a far way from the top, that's a far way to fall. So when he's falling, trust and believe all these people are coming after it. Like these people, that's why I said, Cassie, like, you done opened up the gates, girl. You were the catalyst to this man's demise. Everybody's coming for him. Everybody. Everybody that was touched inappropriately, everybody that had him say something that was inappropriate, every woman that got boxed down, every woman that was raped and that was assaulted by him, everybody is coming for his ass. And like you mentioned, nobody's defending him. Isn't that
Yeah.
strange?
That's saying a lot. That's saying a lot more than listen. Everybody, again, like I said, everybody's ready to victim blame Cassie or say that she copped out by taking the money and whatever rate tay. Everybody, it's easy to talk shit when you're behind a screen, right? But at the end of the day, we're the people trying to say protect him, and why wouldn't they? Because if he's like Foxy, he's responsible for giving you some money. Why don't you come out and say that he was an upstanding guy and not that he just gave you money? Like, because
Right?
we know Diddy has money. If there's one thing we know about him, is he has money. So I need you to come with a little something stronger if you're really trying to defend him.
Well, I don't even know if Foxy is the right person for that. You know what I'm saying? I don't
Yeah.
even know if she's the right person for that.
Yeah.
You need more people.
You need more people, yeah.
In terms of Diddy, he, nobody's on his side. The floodgates are open.
Ooh.
Cassie has let in the whole of everybody to feel comfortable to talk about every and anything that they went through with this man. And there will be lots more allegations to come.
Hmm.
This ain't the end. This is not
Yeah.
the end. And that's the thing, is that we have to take into account the judicial system is watching.
Yeah.
They're
But
watching.
you know what? We forgot to talk about. So we are talking about this is like really the workout or the fallout of Cassie opening the floodgates on who this person really is. And now it's pretty much when Hollywood was having their Me Too movement, like five
Yeah,
or 6 or 7 years ago. That was huge. That was like, yeah, like Hollywood. Phew, you heard some crazy shit.
right?
But now the hip, like nobody, but everybody was saying when the hip hop one opens up, like those were all a certain group, but that was the Hollywood folks. But now, hip hop, the music industry, let's say the music industry, floodgates are opening up now. I heard there's a case with Jimmy Iovine from
Yeah,
Interscope. There's this case with the guy from
Aaron
LaFace.
Hall.
Well, Aaron Hall? I mentioned Aaron Hall, but the record deal. What's his name? The guy from LaFace Records. He's big. I forgot his name, and I always know him because he was LaFace in the news.
I forget his name too.
Yeah, L.A. Reid.
He's
How could we
leaving.
forget
Oh,
L.A. Reid? L.A.
yes,
Reid. And that's the
yes,
same. That's the same woman who accused Russell Simmons. It's Drew Dixon,
yeah,
who again before the reason of the New York Adult Survivors Act, she put in her claim. I think she had one before. Well, we knew about the Russell Simmons, but yeah. So pretty much the music industry, Me Too, is coming down.
it is
It's
here,
coming down.
family. It is
It's
here.
here. It
It's
is here.
happening. We're observing it. It's just so interesting to know that the hip hop slash Black Hollywood entertainment in the
Mm.
last 50 years, it's gotten to this point, and to see it crumble, and to see it it's being ripped to shreds. It's being ripped
But
to
you know what?
shreds.
It
Hmm.
needs. It's one of those things. Even like when the Me Too movement happened in Hollywood is it's a change in attitudes. It's always been
Yup.
happening. It was literally probably the nature of the business, unfortunately.
Right?
And
Sad but
and
true.
it's sad but true. And it's when we talk about women and like we're just really getting into the age as much as people talk about um women's rights and feminism and Ray
Mm-hmm.
Tay. This is a I think this is like the last frontier where
Yup.
women are still disadvantaged because men had so much power in
Mm-hmm.
the situation in these type of
Yup.
situations, especially in the entertainment business, right?
Yup.
Old Hollywood. Oh Lord, I don't even want to talk
Right?
about it. But so this is the last frontier where women are taking back their control, in that the men that were behaving badly and
Mm-hmm.
use their power and influence to use and debase women, they're coming to their reckoning. And
Yup.
hey, everything you do in the dark will come to light. And
Yeah,
hey,
it sure is. It's in the light. It's in our eyes. It's blaring, people. It's blaring. And you know what? We can't ignore it anymore. And people like Diddy have to be brought down, and the
yeah, oh yeah.
industry has to be changed. And, as a young, naive person, artist, Diddy likes men and women. So, men or women
Hmm.
should feel confident that they're joining uh you know this entertainment industry, and it's not detrimental to their sanity and to their physical being. Like, they need to know that they can express themselves and do well and accomplish great things without having to face a person like Diddy. And there's more people like him than there are who are just really interested in helping you thrive.
Yes.
But he has opened up the flood. He has opened up what the industry could, excuse me, really look like. Excuse me. Sorry about that. But anyhow,
Bless you.
you know what, Cassie? Go on, girl, with your bad self.
Mm.
You let it out. You let it out. You let the world know. I'm proud of you, girl. You've opened up the floodgates for Diddy and many of the people who are like Diddy in this industry to be caught up underneath the jail. They need to
Mm.
be up underneath the jail. If not underneath the jail, then 6 feet underneath the jail. One of the two. Because these people are real monsters and they are getting their just dues. So, with all of that being said, we do hope that your hearts and minds were activated on this week's show. So, whether you lead with your heart or your mind, please stay passionate and thoughtful. And we will talk to y'all real soon and in a hurry.
Bye.